What's up, everybody? This is Pillars of Eternity 2 at Deadfire. I have never played the original game, but I am a fan of this type of game. I am a fan of RPGs and CRPGs and just kind of the old fantasy kind of vibe. This game is very story-driven and very dialogue-heavy. If you are not into dialogue-heavy games, this might not be the game for you. But if you are into dialogue and a lot of story and a lot of just a lot of traditional RPG aspects, if you're into the whole Dungeons & Dragons type of vibe, this might be the right game for you. I personally like it. I played for about half an hour before I started filming this, and I'm pretty into it. I want to start a new game, that way I can show you everything from the beginning, but with that being said, let's get into it. The first option you have is you can actually choose if you want to do kind of more modern, real-time. It's a little bit more strategic, a little bit more risk-reward kind of scenario. It's a lot more fast-paced, a lot more kind of modern, for lack of a better term. I'm going to be playing turn-based. I like the strategy of turn-based. I like the feeling of turn-based, where you can kind of plan out your move, and the next move, and the next move, so on and so on. It's a little bit more of a kind of tabletop traditional vibe. If I really like the game and want to do a second playthrough, I'm probably going to do it on this way, just to switch it up, make it new and fresh. But for now, I'm going to be playing turn-based. From what I've heard, the higher difficulties are very unforgiving and really only for people that really know the mechanics of this game. Not even just like tabletop games, but this specific game. So I want to keep it kind of more in the middle, normal, for lack of a better term, area. So I'm going to be playing classic. I'm not going to be talking too much during the dialogue because the dialogue is so heavy and important in this game. I'm really only going to be talking between the dialogue sections. So if you don't hear me for a moment, you will be hearing somebody else, though.
Eora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra. 5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction. The country suffered from a plague of hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god. In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher. One who can see and speak with souls. The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual, a seemingly immortal agent of the gods, known as Theos Ix Arcanon. With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos, ending your visions and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
Made a nice story. You fixing up that old keep, lifting the curse. Must have told it 100 times. But something got to gnawing at me. Thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. But maybe the gods weren't finished with us.
Does not look like they are finished. Of course they wouldn't be finished. The game would be no game if they were finished.
I used to dream that when my god came back, he
doesn't look very forgiving.
Last the trouble with dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up.
One thing I will say about this game, which you're going to see kind of moving past these types of cutscenes, it's got really good graphics for this type of game. Most CRPGs or kind of just tabletop RPGs on a computer don't really have great graphics. They don't really focus on the graphics.
You wake to a sleepless world, the in-between of life and death.
They typically focus on the game, the mechanics.
You have been here before.
You have seen past the shroud. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Like I was saying, this game actually has pretty good graphics for this type of game, though.
Knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked?
The gods aren't real, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Like I said, there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of backstory in this game. After the first half hour, it kind of really opens up from there, but they really got to set the bar for it.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
Let the world see. Let them decide what to do.
The wheel has turned again, Watcher. Come.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage. You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh into something resembling an oddly carved, merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
That paints a really, really lovely image of what this guy's face looks like. Even if they didn't have the avatar picture to like show, just that description alone, it's not exactly the most appealing sounding face. Something's definitely going on with his face.
Sit. Please. Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times. She is preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
So here is where, if you played the original one, you can kind of import your file into here. So all the decisions and choices and everything that was impacted by what you did in that game kind of carries over. If you're like me and you didn't play the first one, this is where you would select kind of what you want to do. Looking at these earlier, I decided to go with Keepers of Secrets. Before I read all this, one thing that's nice about this game is when you hold your cursor over the highlighted words, it gives you kind of like a little encyclopedia definition, a quick little like reminder or insight as to what that is. If it's a word you're not familiar with, or maybe it's a character name from a previous game that you either forgot or you haven't seen, it gives you kind of like a little update. That way you're never really lost. In Pillars of Eternity, you pledge to consign the souls of the Hollowborn to oblivion, as Rimgrand requested, but you ultimately gave the souls to Wodeka, I think that's how you pronounce it. You supported maintaining the god's secrets as well as your own.
Does everything appear to be in order?
Yes?
Good. Welcome to the Beyond. I am Bera. One half, anyway.
The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's direction.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
Since I didn't play the original game, I don't remember.
She places a card on the table showing a tall tower. The gods' constellations are arrayed around it in the sky. You remember now. The Hall of Stars in Twin Elms, where you spoke with the gods.
You came to that tower seeking our aid. You chose to pledge your services to other gods. Still, a pledge unmade stands fairer in this court than a pledge broken.
She places a card in the middle of the arrangement. A bell tower with no bell.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you. The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Aothis. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are. Though Aothis stole a large fragment of your soul, you were strong enough to survive the onslaught and enter the in-between. You and he are still connected. He has chosen a body made of living Audra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced watcher to find him.
I like how in games like this you're always like the watcher, the chosen one, the one. You're never just like some random guy in these events. You're always like the only person that is like destined to save the day. Am I dead?
No. But neither is your body truly alive. Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood, but your flesh is as soulless as a Hollowborn. That is, until I return you.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Audra.
I'm gonna go with number 1. Well, I'd like to find him as much as you would. He destroyed my castle and killed who knows how many people around it.
I know. It is my business to know. 322 in Cadnua and your surrounding lands. Their souls remain in Aothis still. You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel. Good. Before you return to Aora as my herald, you must remember who you were, the last whisper of life and death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the Beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
And character creation. This game is really in-depth in character creation. I went through this briefly before I started filming this, so I already have an idea of what I want to make, so I'm not going to go too into detail on every little aspect of each option, but to give you a general idea, you have a bunch of different races, but then you also have sub-races in here. So for instance, in Godlike, we have these 4 sub-races: Nature Godlike, Death Godlike, and Fire Godlike. Some of the stats are going to change a little bit. For instance, if you notice, Fire Godlike has resistance to burn damage, whereas Moon Godlike does not. Also, where they come from is a little bit different. I have a feeling this is going to change some of your dialogue options, maybe the way some people would interact with you. But with that being said, I decided to go human, ocean folk. I just kind of like how this kind of description worked. Just kind of fit what I wanted to make as a character. Same as in D&D, you can multi-class if you'd like, but multi-classing is really only for people that know exactly what they are doing in a build. If you're one of those people that doesn't know everything that you're going to be doing, do single class. I typically go for a rogue or a mage wizard type in these games. I never play monk, so I figured I wanted to do a monk, do something a little bit different than what I normally do. Could be new and fun for me. And then there are subclasses in these as well. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I decided to go with Hellwalker, All Hellwalkers undergo ceremonial death rite as part of their initiation. It's almost like getting jumped into a gang or something. The experience allows them to start combat with extra wounds and draw physical strength from their wounds at the cost of increased vulnerability. So it kind of sounds like he's like damaging himself in order to deal damage. Like he takes everything that he then gives. Just kind of interesting, almost kind of a anti-hero, like kind of like a Venom, if you would. So I decided to go with Hellwalker. You got 2 abilities that you can pick from the beginning. There is Swift Strikes. The monk's hands become a frenzied blur of attacks, increasing their attack speed for a brief period and granting them with quick inspiration. That's if you want to do like a quick monk. I want to do like kind of not a one-trick pony, but a really heavy-hitting monk. So I decided to go with a powerful attack that knocks the target back a significant distance and prones them. It's kind of more of like a melee, like brawler type guy. I am going to give him some other things, but that's kind of his focus. So the gold star are skills or attributes that they recommend that you have for your class. If it has nothing, then it's not needed at all for your class. And if they have the silver star, then it's recommended, but it's not highly recommended. He is going to be kind of a brawler. He's going to be kind of semi-tank, I guess. So he needs to have quite a bit of health. I want him to deal quite a bit of damage too, because he is going to be kind of a tank-ish. He needs to be able to give the damage that he's getting. I don't want him to be super slow. I don't want him to be like a slug because he's so big and strong. So I want him to be quick as well, and then give him some defense while we're at it. When you were in the character selection, like your race, this is one of the places that they mentioned involving these kinds of people, the ocean folk. So I decided I'll go with old Valia? Not quite sure. Yeah. If you choose different areas, it kind of affects your general skills. For instance, Constitution or Might might be best for him. So you can make a character based around your skills and what fits your build the best. Or you can do what I'm doing. I'm trying to build a character that kind of fits my idea of a character, my concept of who he is as a person. So this might not be the best physical skill for him, but it kind of fits my character I want to make. Aristocrat, I thought it would be kind of fun to make a Venom anti-hero type character that is a higher society, highbrow aristocrat type person. Almost think of like Bruce Wayne, but an anti-hero version. And it gives bonuses to intimidate and bluff, which is going to be very kind of useful for what I want to make, what I want to build. It's going to be kind of like kind of a cocky, knows that he has a lot of talk, but he can also kind of back it up. So he's going to be intimidating. He might lie and bluff sometimes, but in the end, it all kind of comes down to him getting what he wants, which is going to be a form of diplomacy. So it kind of fits what I want to make. Like I said, I don't want him to be a one-trick pony, so I am going to give him pistols. I'm not going to give him blunderbuss or rifles, but I do want to give him a little bit of range. That way, if he's not able to attack somebody right next to him at that moment, he's still not stranded doing nothing. And then I decided to do sword, half sword for his main. You do have a lot of weapon options that you can pick from. It's not just like bow. There's different types of bows. It's not just swords, there's different types of swords. It's really kind of really in depth into all the different options of who your character is and what he can do. So I want to make somebody that looks kind of like me. You're kind of limited on what you can make in here. For instance, your head, you really only have 4 heads, so I mean, you really can't make somebody that's going to look exactly like you. But this is probably as close as possible. Yeah, let's do this. Voice, you got different voices to pick from.
Quick and quiet.
Stand together!
Attack! Kill them all!
Thanks, Sinister.
No prisoners. Keeping an eye out. What is it? Now I am leader of the group. Finish them!
Yeah!
Shh.
Yes, I'm flattered.
Onward! Let's keep quiet. Yes?
I'll teach you a lesson!
They'll never know I'm here.
Right here. I got this. I got this.
Let's do that. That fits the aristocrat type vibe. Different stances. Like I said, they have so many options in who your character is. And we're going to do ruggish. I don't know what to name him, so I'm going to name him Bill. I don't know why. Bill just kind of fits. So here's my character. Like I said, I kind of already knew what I wanted to make, so I kind of went through that. You could spend tons of time in your character creation, but this is just what I wanted to make. Something that kind of fits a general overall, a theme, a character.
Go forth now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you, to open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world. Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
A chime. Do not fear, Herald. It will not harm you unless you choose to cross me. I trust it will not come to that.
The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
So like I said, the beginning of this game is very dialogue heavy, it's very story driven, it's really kind of setting up the overall world, the backstory, the environment of what you are going to be partaking in. There's not too much going on in the beginning, it is mostly dialogue and character creation. If you are into games like this, you're probably okay with that. Most games have a pretty background driven intro to it, and then they kind of open up from there. This one, the first 30 minutes or so is going to be kind of that. Then it kind of really opens up into the actual game from that aspect, which is kind of what we're getting to right now. And would you look at that? That looks like my body right over there. Let's get back into my body. This guy's about to freak out right now. I thought I was dead, and I come back like Lazarus. That was pretty calm.
The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull. Adair watches over your body with a glazed look, taking long, even tokes from his pipe.
No, there's no way. You're awake. What are you doing awake?
Man, I didn't want to be dead anymore. I wanted to wake up.
How are you feeling?
I feel alive.
Alive's a big improvement.
I hate to cast a pall over your recovery, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
That is a talking bust. That is a talking statue.
The voice echoes from inside the bust. The remains of the steward of Cad Nua.
Cad Nua has been destroyed. Aethys possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby. It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely.
I think I actually died and then I was brought back to life. I'm not sure.
The further Aethys withdrew, the weaker you became. We chartered this ship and followed him to the Deadfire archipelago. I know not how, but it seems he has retained a piece of your soul, and proximity to it has brought you back.
How could you know all that? You've been faking on us.
He pokes at your shoulder with one finger.
I don't think he thought I was actually dead.
Misfortune's brewing topside. Migrants fires the captain stirs.
An older man with ale-sour breath rubs his bloodshot eyes and stares at you.
Hengrim, the smell of drink on your breath could wake the very dead. Now what's this about?
Pirates. They're demanding parley with you, Captain.
I know this is asking a lot, but you better arm yourself and get on deck.
Let's get my stuff. Would you look at that? I just so happen to have the weapons that I chose proficiency in.
Now make some use of it.
What are the chances of that? So one thing that's really cool about this game, as far as your weapon loadout goes, you can equip your weapon, you can have a second set so I can swap between my weapons. Or if I want, I can actually dual wield. So now I have both of them. I'm sure that might have some sort of penalty, possibly, but it is nice that it gives these kind of like options to it.
The pirates of Deadfire are notorious. I suggest...
Well, what have we here? A little sloop? Lost and alone in the storm? I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
Well, at least he asked.
I am a gentleman of fortune. Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
So here you can choose some dialogue options. This one right here is something that I get because I chose aristocrat as my background. It kind of shows how some things that you choose kind of affect who your character is. That might not be the best option, but because this is my first chance getting to choose something and something that I chose is in there that can affect it, I think it only fits the first chance I use it.
Who says I'm common? You've got the honour of being plundered by the fourth highest ranking pirate in the Principe. Listen up, mates. I'm off to spear me a bigger fish. One with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it. Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
If we're not alive, I think we would be a corpse, so that we're not a prisoner then. Alright, so here's my wounds, how much it takes. Let's just do this. So normally in the game, you are controlling your entire team, but so far... Oh, sorry, I had to stop talking there. I had to sneeze off mic really quick. Like I was saying, you're controlling just you. Normally you have your entire team, but so far in the game, I haven't got my actual team yet. These are just random NPCs. So I only have access to my character so far, but it kind of opens up past this. Should be my turn. I got like 3 more in front of me. I don't have that many skills or abilities at the moment. I really only have the 2. It's just because it's early game. You have to unlock more and get them. And I don't have any other teammates that are in different classes, so I'm really limited at the moment. But again, I'm level 1, first combat, so you usually only have like an attack at the beginning. I feel like some of these people have gone more than once before it was my turn again. So when I'm up close to them in that little circle, he uses the sword. Or when I'm at range, he then just shoots them. So it's kind of nice. It automatically kind of like cycles between the two depending on how close you are. But it shows you which one it's going to use depending on how close you are with that little circle. Kind of nice, just a little informative to it. Looks like Sailor's about to die. He should be coming up soon. Bill has his turn next. Come on, Bill. I don't think we need to take that. I think these 3 got that one. I'm going to go up here. Actually, let's see. Alright, let's go to the stairs and then... let's attack that guy. Wasn't enough to kill him. Sorry, man. I tried helping you out. Ooh, that definitely took him out, though. Looks like he's Helmsman is about to be taken out as well, though. First combat should be wrapping up right now. I might be able to take him out, maybe. Nope. Close though. This is what I was talking about, the graphics in this game just looking really nice. Look at the water. Like most games in the tabletop CRPG kind of style, don't really have nice graphics. This is just it's a nice change. And like I said, you're on a boat on a game like this, you are gonna sink. You always sink on a boat on a game like this. Every game. The Tomb Raider from 2014, 2015, whatever it was, you start on a boat, it sinks. You defeated the pirates, but you're not out of trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiant's crew hurries to reduce the sail and batten down the hashes. They work quickly, but the ship is still listing heavily, because we're gonna sink. Just then, a loose crate tumbles towards you, gathering speed on the rain-slick deck. It misses you, but knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. I think his name is Chitupek. I'm gonna go with that. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, but his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol on the front and realize it likely contains the salvage of Chattanooga, your keep. So I think this is going to be one of those chances where if I save this crate, it's going to give me more gold, more items, more things that can help me in the beginning of the game. If I rescue Chitupek, that could maybe... He's going to help me with something later on, so it's kind of a give or take here. But I'm going to go with my man Chitupek. He's part of my crew. I got him. You grab Chitupek's arm just as his fingers fail, just as his grip fails. I cannot read today. For a tense moment, he hangs suspended over the rolling sea. Then, with a mighty tug, you pull him back onto the deck. You hear a heavy splash. The crate from Chattanooga is gone. Chitupek, meanwhile, nods in gratitude and hurries to his station. I got you, Chitupek. Chitupek, you my man, I got you. Meanwhile, the storm... Oh, check it out, there's Aothis right there. I wonder if he's causing the storm, or if it's just kind of coincidence. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you ashore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline and Aothis striding into the distance. The lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. Of course we run into ground. We're gonna sink! The impact hurls you from the deck into the froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. I like the way the music and the sound effects change with this. Once he goes like into the water, it now gets like kind of murmured sounding. That's just kind of a cool little attention to detail. You struggle towards the beach just ahead, even as the surf tugs you towards the open sea. You kick and paddle with all your might until at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse. Of course we went overboard and the ship sinks. Any game that takes place at the beginning of the game on a boat, you are going to sink. People are going to die, you're going to get wet, you're going to swim with the fishes, and then somehow, miraculously, you come up ashore with almost everyone else dead, except for you.
You've been getting a lot of sleep so far on this trip. I'd have woke you, but you look so peaceful with your face in the sand. If you're worried about the ship, you can stop worrying. It's wrecked right over there. So far, it's just you and me and the chair lady over there.
It's a relief to see you awake, my lord. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
Ran aground, looks like. Statue headed inland. Guess he had business here. Or he needed directions.
I do sense a few survivors close by. The rest... You could give them guidance, but they are beyond any other help. That is, assuming this experience has not diminished your abilities as a watcher. If you can see the souls of our dead and speak to them, it would be a great comfort.
A few's better than I would have thought. We better go see if they're all right. Let's see about the other survivors. And somehow we gotta get the ship repaired. I don't want to be paddling out of here on a salvage raft.
For now, I'd say your best bet is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lord, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
These gods. You make one deal with them to stop a madman, and the next thing you know, they're threatening your soul.
That isn't much of a choice. But castle or no castle, you are still my lord, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Well, I suppose we'd better get a move on.
So, all of your party members, all your teammates, they're basically kind of extensions of your character. You create them, I mean, you control them to the full abilities of your main character. With that being said, when you get somebody, you can kind of choose fighter or rogue, or you can do a multi-class, which would be fighter and rogue, in this case, swashbuckler. Like I said, you do kind of level them up and control everything they're doing the same as your main character. So multi-classing is really only for people that really know how to play mechanics of tabletops like this, or D&D, or Pathfinder, so on and so on. It's not basically swashbuckler and then the computer fills in the rest. You are going to be controlling this guy. So I was going to make him my dedicated tank. I'm kind of tank-ish, but he's going to be my dedicated tank. And with that, I think that's where I'm going to end this video for the day. If you like it, if you like the game, if you like the video, you like the content, I am going to be doing more of Pillars of Eternity 2. I'm also going to be doing a couple other games, so it's not just the same game I'm uploading every day. I'm going to spread it out with different things, but there will be more of Pillars of Eternity coming very soon. With that being said, peace out.